Hey everybody, it's Rockula, and welcome back to Rockula Retrospective. This is the weekend re-review for Season 6, Episode 2 of The Walking Dead, titled JSS. So this is the weekend re-review, which means I'm going to sum up all of the different sources from the various Walking Dead communities. I got my YouTuber friends, I got my people that I see online, and with my Facebook and so forth. And speaking of Facebook, I've started to host my Walking Dead barrage mashups at my Facebook page because they give me copyright strikes on YouTube. So please go to facebook.com and look up Rockula Productions, and that's where you'll see my new mashups. First of all, let me give you a list of all the YouTubers that I watch and gather information from up here. And as usual, I will be bouncing all over the place, so this will not be sequential. Well, let's get to the most discussed topic, which is Enid a spy for the wolves? My gut says no. She also said, I think what her problem is that she feels too vulnerable in Alexandria and she'd rather be out in the wild where she can fend for herself and not be a big target like Alexandria. But then she says, we were able to, and then stupid Carl cut her off. So we're never going to be able to know what she said when she said we were able to, and who is we. You know, everybody keeps thinking it was the wolves, but it could be anybody. And could that we be the people that were exiled? I keep bringing this up, but when are they going to address the people that were exiled? I think that's going to be a big issue. Moving on to the truck. People were questioning, was there a walker that they put in the truck and then sent it towards Alexandria? But I don't think so. I think that they think that the walker turned so fast that it had to have been a walker. But I went back and watched that scene over and over, and I broke it down to the frames. And when the driver, Deanna's son, and I still can't remember him because that's about as effectual as he is. Whenever he opens up the door, there's a lot of gore on his face, but I think that is wounds and blood from slamming into the front of the truck and not from being a walker. So it's hard to tell if the driver swerved before or after he got shot, but and it's hard to tell if he intended to swerve into the wall at all. Was he headed around to the gate? What was he doing? But we'll never know. So was it the impact that killed him, or was it the shots? The big question is now, what's in the back of that truck? Is it a disco zombie truck? Were they planning on using the disco zombies to kill the Alexandrians, or were they going to use the truck to collect the captives? Now, if you are wondering what I mean by disco zombies, if you go back to the last episode of Season 5, they had the trucks, and the way that they got the walkers back into the trucks is they opened them up, had a bunch of lights and disco music blaring out of there, and then brought them right back in. So that's why I call them disco zombies. Also, why are people being chopped into torsos? So Jessica from Two Dead Girls was asking the same question. So what is up with the wolves and the torsos? I mean, we first saw the torsos spill out in Richmond, and then we saw them hanging in the back of the disco zombie trucks. The question of Where those torsos are going to end up has already been explained, but the purpose has not been explained. Why are they hanging those zombies up in the disco zombie trucks? Do they have a calming effect? Do they throw people in there to get bitten by them? Whatever, but I guess we'll find out soon. While I'm not going to call this the common sense moment of the episode, I am going to say that Carol did not use a lot of common sense when she found Olivia in the armory. She handed her a handgun, and my question is, was there not a shotgun in there somewhere? Because even Joe Biden, he says, if you need home defense, if you need to defend against somebody in front of you and you're not a marksman, shotgun. So I don't understand why Carol didn't arm Olivia with a shotgun. Is Gabriel finally going to nut up and start contributing in the defensive department? It's funny how Morgan handed him the other gun and left Gabriel with 2 guns in his hands. And I was kind of thinking maybe he'll turn out to be like a badass priest like Cheech in Machete, where he's like 2-fisting it and running around shooting with 2 guns, but I doubt it. Who knows? Maybe we'll see Gabriel sacrifice himself once he starts nutting up. By the way, to add to that, I'd like to point out that if Morgan is so anti-gun, then why does he have one holstered on his hip? I was watching this and I'm like, whoa, hold on a second. So I stopped it and I picked out a frame, and there it is. On Morgan's right hip is a gun in a holster. At the beginning of the episode, we saw Carol making a casserole and looking at Judith and the baby monitor. And then at the end of the episode, we see Carl take the casserole out of the oven, but I thought for sure that Judith was going to be in the baby monitor, or he was going to look in the baby monitor and Judith was going to be gone. There's a little bit of time left, I didn't see it in the coming attractions, but who knows, that could happen in the future. So the wolves are kind of cryptic in this episode. The one that they tied up is saying people don't belong here anymore. And then the one at the end said that we didn't choose this. And that's another thing that Jessica from Two Dead Girls brought up. And I don't think I heard anybody else bring this up. Is this like a cult? It's a question. It's an interesting question to ponder. Is there somebody at the top of the wolves that is like a charismatic cult leader? And that would lead me to believe that the wolves are the exact opposite of the Alexandrians. Could it be that they recruit members, like they stay back and watch potential recruits be vicious, savage murderers, and they're like, hey, come join the wolves. But if they see people acting like decent human beings, they savage them and turn them into walkers or slaves. We don't know if they have actual slaves, but basically, is that what the wolves do? Do they observe people and then decide whether or not they want to join the wolves or not? So this last point covers a subject that my fellow YouTuber / dead tuber buddy Ronnie Hayes from Make a Path Presents covered on his video about the A and its significance to Carol.
It disgusted her and she's trying to wipe it off, and then she looks at the A. Now the A is where we get a bunch of symbolism here. It's a representation of Sammy, Sophia, innocence, Alexandria, this place that they're in, where she belongs, a place they can call home. It has all these types of meanings, yet it also can represent being the butcher or the cattle.
But one of the things that I would like to say is I'd like to take that a step further in that, yes, you did have the Terminus A and the Alexandria A, but it goes further with the Alexandria A because, as we've all been discussing, everybody seems to be on point about the fact that Carol is purposely being horrible to Sam because she doesn't want to see another child die. She sees Alexandria, and that's a point that Ronnie made too. It's the perfect place that would have been a place for Sophia to grow up and she's starting to realize that all the stuff that she's going to have and the stuff she's never going to have. But one of the other things that I want to go with that is the Alexandria A also stands in this case for acceptance. Because no matter how tough Carol is on Sam, and no matter how much is happening to the Alexandrians, though Carol and Rick's groups are going to be accepted because, they pretty much saved Alexandria from what's about to happen. Whether or not it falls or not, Rick and company pretty much saved Alexandria. So what's up with episode 3? Well, it looks like we're going to find out what happens with the herd. Daryl and company are going to try to keep the main section of the herd going while the rest try to get back to Alexandria, and they're going to have to fight through walkers to get there. I don't really have very many predictions. My only prediction is that Nicholas, since you can see him in the trailer and he's at the front and he's like ready to kick ass, I think this is when Nicholas sacrifices himself for the common good of the group. So please join me on Sunday night for episode 3. It's going to be called Thank You. And I want to say thank you to all of you. Please click on the like button and subscribe and comment below, and go to all the people that I listed on my video. I'm Rockula, and this is Rockula Retrospective.